Hello guys, today we're going to read the book called What Was the Alamo? So this is the Alamo where we go. I bought it from the Alamo, Texas. It's a really good state, I guess. But anyways, we are going to read the first chapter. It looks like the same thing. What was the Alamo? In downtown San Antonio, Texas, sits the ruins of an old church. It is crowded among office buildings, hotels, and shops. This is all that reminds of an old Spanish mission. In the 1700s, missions were where Catholic priests lived and prayed. They also tried to teach the regulation to Native American tribal nations, but the tribal nations had no interest in it. By 1793, the mission had been turned into a fort known as the Alamo. In Spanish, Alamo means cottonwood and tree. The name refers to a company of soldiers that have been stationed there. The front of the church appears very ornately, but if you look closely at the white walls, you may find the scars from bullets and cannonballs fired more than 175 years ago. They were from a terrible battle that was fought here in March 1836. Today, over 2.5 million people come to visit each year. Many think of the Alamo as the cradle of Texas liberty. Why? Why does the Alamo mean to the people of Texas and to the rest of the United States? Now we're going to read our first chapter. Come and take it. Since the 1500s, when Spanish explorers first came to the New World, Spain had ruled Mexico. By 1820, Mexico had spilled down through Central America, up as far north as present-day Oregon, and all the way to the west coast of North America. It included a huge chunk of land called Texas that shared borders with Louisiana. In 1821, Mexico won its independence. It no longer belonged to Spain. There was a new government with a constitution. The Mexican Constitution was part of the U.S. Constitution and granted many of the same rights, including the right to elect members of the government and the right of the states to govern themselves. Very quickly, English-speaking settlers from the southern United States from Louisiana, Tennessee, and Alabama came flooding into Texas. Buying land, they were cheap as low as 4 cents at all. People in the United States were said to have caught Texas fever. At first, Mexico didn't mind the arrival of American settlers. The country needed more people to help defend it against threatened attacks from Native American tribal nations such as the Comanche and Apache. Mexico and the Comanche and the Apache were having disagreements about land and hunting practice. The Mexicans, however, had a full rules. The settlers from the United States had to become Catholic. They had to swear to be faithful to the country of Mexico. Also, slavery was not allowed in Mexico. The trouble was that Texans, as the English-speaking settlers were called, didn't like to follow rules. Some brought enslaved people along and intended to keep them. The settlers didn't want to become Catholic. All they wanted was the chance to own land. There was plenty of that in Texas, so they made Mexico their home. They put down roots. In time, some Texans came to think of themselves as citizens of Mexico. Some married Tenjanos, native Spanish-speaking Mexicans, and have families. In 1832, things changed. A Mexican general named Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna grabbed control of the government. He had been a hero in Mexico's war for independence against Spain. Now he tossed aside the Mexican Constitution. Santa Anna declared even 100 years to come, my people would not be faithful to liberty, and made himself dictator. When he took control, several states rebelled, and Santa Anna used force to stop the rebellions and punish the states. In Texas, both Texans and Tejanos were divided over what to do about Santa Anna. Some Texans, like Stephen F. Austin, favored Texas remaining part of Mexico. They hope in time Santa Anna will become more reasonable and let them go of power. Others, such as Sam Houston, went on war. They thought Texas had to break free from Mexico and Santa Anna. They want independence. Stephen F. Austin. In 1821, Moses Austin had a dream to bring his family and 300 other settlers to Texas from Missouri. When Moses died, his son Stephen led the new settlers into Texas, where they started a settlement called San Philip de Austin. Eventually, Austin would bring 1,500 families into Texas. For a long time, Austin whistled to the Mexican government. In 1833, word about over Texans' growing demands for Texas independence, he went to the government in Mexico City. He asked for Texas to become an independent state that would stay under Mexican rule. Not only was his request denied, but Austin was also arrested. Austin stayed in jail for 12 months. And that's right. No, wait. That's a year, okay? Then he was paroled, but not only to go home for another 7 months. He left Mexico City a changed man. He said, every man in Texas is called to take up arms in defense of his country and his rights. Today, he is known as the father of Texas. The city of Austin is named after him. Trouble was brewing in many towns. In Glozon and Bolivar. The early days in Gonzales has been tough, but by 1835, Gonzales had begun to prosper. There were 2 small hotels, 2 blacksmith shops, and several bars. A new schoolhouse was being built, and a man named Armand Dickinson had opened a hat shop. Fights between Native Americans and Texans were not as frequent. The town hadn't even held its first fancy ball. The citizens of Gonzales had not won a war for Texas independence. However, they resented the way they were treated by Santa Anna's soldiers. The soldiers were lawless. They were bullies. One soldier beat up a man with the butt of his gun. Sam Houston. That's where we live. Sam Houston stood about 6 feet 4 inches tall. He cut quite a finger, especially when in the Native American or Mexican clothes that he liked to wear. He became a hero in the War of 1812 and later Lawless. He served 2 terms in the U.S. Congress for being elected governor of Tennessee in 1827. He first saw Texas in 1832 and fell in love with it. Houston struggled with drinking and drug problems throughout his life. The Cherokee, who considered him a friend, called him Usisi Arditaski, or Big Drum. 4 days before the Alamo massacre, he signed the Texas Declaration of Independence. It said Texas was free from Mexico. After the territory won its independence, he was elected president of the Republic of Texas two times. When Texas became a state, he served from 1846 to 1859 as one of its senators, and after that as its governor. The city of Houston, Texas is named after him. Then one day, more soldiers arrived with an empty ox cart. They demanded the town's canyon. The message was clear. No one was allowed to have weapons and spend Santa's any arm. It wasn't much of a cannon, just a 6-pounder. That meant it shot small cannonballs weighing 6 pounds each. The cannon did little more than make a loud noise and belch some smoke. However, the people of Gonzales refused to give up the canyon. They were taking a stand. The soldiers rode away, but the townspeople knew they would be back. They sent out a call for help to other towns nearby. They needed more people to defend themselves against the soldiers. When Santa enters, troops returned to Gonzales. About 140 men were ready to defend the canyon in the town. One young man is said to have offered up her wedding dress to make it into a flag. The flag showed a canyon and the words, "Come and take it." This was like a dare to the soldiers. Texian James C. Neal fired the first canyon shots. After a quick skirmish, Santa Anna's soldiers retreated. The fighting at Gonzales wasn't even a real battle. It was all over so quickly. Yet, this day, October 2nd, 1835, was the beginning of the war for Texas independence. And that's it. It took us 13 minutes long. Well, I hope you enjoy it. In Chapter 2, here I come tomorrow. Bye.